My name is Maria Sholokov. I am one of the few German Jews who survived the Auschwitz concentration camp back in 1945. I am now 87 years old and about to tell you about my life at the concentration camps.
Back in 1942, when Hitler swam in power, times for us Jews were as worst. Just when I thought that the oppression of us Jews could not get any worse, it did.
Suddenly, one day, my family, being my parents and my boyfriend, were shoved and crammed into wagons with many other Jews. We were all struck with panic and fear. There were no windows in the wagons, and people were crying and screaming. The whole situation seemed to please and entertain the German Nazi soldiers. In the wagon, I sat close up against my mother and boyfriend. My dad was forced to work on the wagons.
I first arrived at the Nazi concentration camp Auschwitz in February 1945 at the age of 16. There, together with 10,000 other women, we were clueless of our whereabouts and the situation.
I was clutching my mum tightly, but already saw a soldier approaching me. As the soldier grabbed my mother, we both held on with all our might, even though we knew that we had to let go. As my mother's hand slipped out of mine, she left me a necklace that was hers in the palm of my hand. I was screaming, lashing forward for my mother, but she just kept on being dragged further and further away from me. I dropped the necklace and reluctantly was dragged away, reaching back for it. All memories of her were lost.
The cruel soldiers then led me into a room with many other women. I was then told to put on a heavy, dirty dress. Only few had shoes. The conditions were terrible. Lice crawled everywhere, and the itching was unbearable. Furthermore, many got sores and became ill from the bacteria, and no medicine would be offered to treat us. We slept 4 to 5 girls in one bed. There was no paper, nor was there soap. The words that were written on the German Nazis' belts frightened us. It read, "God is with us." If God was with them, that meant that there was no God for us.
The dreadful times in Auschwitz had passed when I arrived in the same unbearable conditions once more in another concentration camp called Ravensbrück in March 1945. I was alone now. My whole family had been gassed to death in Auschwitz. Here I encountered a frightful experience. One morning I woke up to find another prisoner at the camp lying dead beside me. She would not wake up or move. It was ordered that prisoners should carry dead prisoners out of the barracks and throw them in a pile with all the other dead prisoners. This was set up as not to cause a stench. So I, with my bare hands, dragged the helpless body out of the barracks and threw her in a pile with the others, knowing that one day soon I would be one of these corpses in the pile. I didn't think anything could get any worse.
However, it did. Rumors had it that the awful stench and the smoke coming from certain chimneys nearby were where the German soldiers at the camp gassed us prisoners to death. Also, there were gruesome rumors that the soap, for the few that had access to it, was made out of human fat. And finally, the rumor that concerned me the most, that 2 days from now, all of us women would be killed in the gas chambers. We were not fed, nor did we work for the following 2 days. We were just waiting for our death.
Little did I know I would receive a letter the next day telling me that my beloved boyfriend and my father were alive and well in Sweden. It was like the skim of hope that I thought had faded appeared again. On the day of the gassing, help arrived. Trucks and vans from the Red Cross pulled up at the concentration camp. We were rescued, and I was going to travel to Sweden to see my remaining family again. As I arrived in Sweden, I found my boyfriend and my dad. Both were well, and the unimaginable weeks of suffering had finally come to an end. My boyfriend and I got married and enjoyed some lovely years together until he passed away in 2009.
At the concentration camps, I had lost my soul and everything inside me died. I had no family, and I had turned from a normal 16-year-old girl with dreams and passions for the future into a girl who was defined by her race, a Jew, not an individual, but a Jew. The encounters I faced have been nailed so deep into my head. This all happened because of one man, Adolf Hitler.